consumption of government services by Kenyans. Again, we are also expected to initiate the process of the pursuit of digital entrepreneurship. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, we are expected, as far as the ICT component is concerned, to ensure that everything that we are doing is undertaken within a framework that ensures both data privacy and data security. On the side of our broadcasting and telecommunications ambit, there are fundamental objectives that we have set out to pursue. And I did mention this from the onset when I was undergoing my vetting learning as management, that at some point in time, I would wish that my performance on behalf of the industry and on behalf of the ministry that I head be evaluated on the basis of revitalization of KBC, revitalization of the Postal Corporation of Kenya, the Kenya News Agency, and facilitating optimal capacity levels or performance levels of KIMC and the Kenya Yearbook. And again, we are pursuing things with great zeal, ladies and gentlemen. Against that background, may I now have the distinguished honor and privilege, ladies and gentlemen, to give you our first one-year scorecard. In the space of the digital superhighway, ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned, we are expected to roll out a minimum of 100,000 kilometers of fiber optic cable. Our target for June 2023 was 5,000 kilometers of fiber optic cable. I'm happy to report that we have surpassed that target, and we have managed, as we speak, to realize a rollout of 5,280 kilometers. This rollout, ladies and gentlemen, consists of two integral components. One, the component rolled out by government itself, and the component rolled out by the private sector. In the pursuit of our digital transformation agenda, we have stated many a time before, and I want to repeat, that we will work in partnership with the private sector to meet our goals and objectives. So as far as the initial 5,280 kilometers of fiber is concerned, as government, we have managed to roll out 2,500. The private sector players have managed to roll out 2,500 kilometers, while as government, we have managed to roll out 2,780 kilometers. And in this regard, I wish to thank integral players who have made this possible, and this include Liquid Telecom, the Wananchi Group, Safaricom, and Airtel, among others. Also, we have gone ahead, ladies and gentlemen, to map out those parts of the country that desire prioritization as far as the rollout of the 100,000 kilometers of fiber optic cable is concerned, all over the country. So we have got a master plan for the rollout of the fiber optic connectivity. We have done this, again, in collaboration with integral entities who have hitherto also been involved in the rollout of the fiber. And just to mention, for purposes of clarity, we have had meetings with the Kenya Power, we have had meetings with Kenya Pipeline, Ketraco Telecom, Kenya Railways, and the Kenya Pipeline Corporation. And we have agreed, with a view to achieving the 100,000 kilometers of fiber optic cable, we have agreed on the role, the components that each and every player is going to undertake. We have gone ahead and agreed on the timelines within which each and every one of us must meet those targets. We have gone ahead also, ladies and gentlemen, to have discussions with the county government, because there is nothing we are going to do which will not take place in a given county government. So we have had discussions with the Council of Governors as far as the rollout of fiber connectivity is concerned. And I'm happy to report that based on those discussions, the county government have accepted to waive any costs pertaining to wear leaves as far as the rollout of the fiber optic cable is concerned. So we will not be having any fees being paid to the county governments in this regard. And on that note, again, I really want to thank the Council of Governors on behalf of our 47 county governments for that positive gesture. You are also aware that we have been having the Government Common Core Network of ICT infrastructure, which has been in existence since 2008, ladies and gentlemen. It has now started cracking under the weight of age, and we have embarked on upscaling that, and this includes laying out ducts in the central business zone, the Upper Hill area, and all the way to the Kenyatta National Hospital area, so that we are able to mitigate against disruptions of ICT infrastructure. Let me now move to the free Wi-Fi hotspots. Our target here is 25,000 free Wi-Fi hotspots all over the country. And the objective is to ensure that those Kenyans who are operating at the bottom of the economic pyramid are supported by government to get access to internet. In fact, one of the challenges that Kenyans told us before getting into government was that they wanted the cost of data to be reduced, that the cost of data was very high. But as government, we have deliberately and consciously decided to be proactive to the extent that where we can, we are going to ensure that Kenyans get Wi-Fi for free. And in this regard, ladies and gentlemen, we have embarked on this process with great zeal. Our target was to establish and operationalize 2 Wi-Fi hotspots per county by June 2023. As we speak, we have surpassed this target. We are at a total of 421 free public Wi-Fi hotspots as at July 31st. And this is informed by close collaboration between us as a ministry and the county governments. In this regard, ladies and gentlemen, 194 of those Wi-Fis have been established in partnership with the county government in markets and around the bus termini, where most of our youth are predominantly domiciled, and we want to change the paradigm by getting both the youth and our mothers and sisters who are involved in itinerary trade within the markets getting involved or facilitated to be involved in e-commerce through this internet connectivity. We have gone ahead to establish another 172 Wi-Fi connections as part of the community innovation hubs, and directly through ICTA, we have established and operationalized another 55. Simultaneously, we have gone ahead to identify a possible 14,690 public Wi-Fi hotspots spread evenly across the country through a partnership between the ministry and the county governments, where we can go ahead and now establish the remaining Wi-Fis with a view to realizing our target of 25,000 Wi-Fi hotspots. Again, for purposes of clarity, ladies and gentlemen, may I state that we have had meetings with the players in the private sector to fast-track this process, and we have agreed on how we are going to roll out the 25,000 free Wi-Fi hotspots. So we may not even go the full hog of 5 years. In the not too distant future, this will be water under the bridge. We shall have realized our target, and we'll keep on updating the media depending on unfolding events from time to time as the need may be. Coming to the digital hubs. The purpose of the digital hubs, ladies and gentlemen, is to ensure that with the ICT infrastructure in place, we are also correspondingly empowering Kenyans by way of digital skills so that we facilitate optimal uptake of the ICT infrastructure that we are introducing in the marketplace. That is one objective. On the flip side of it, our ultimate aim is to ensure that we empower our youth by through digital jobs, because the white-collar jobs are today limited. The only space where we have got enormous potential as a means of alleviating the unemployment situation in the country is through digital jobs, ladies and gentlemen. And in this regard, our target is to establish a total of 1,450 digital hubs or digital laboratories. For a start, we have started by initiating the Gitume programs within the TVETs. We are doing the same in schools, but eventually we have also earmarked each and every ward in this country for the establishment of a digital laboratory. And to facilitate this, we have held consultations with integral stakeholders to enable us achieve this. We have held consultations with the ICT Committee of Parliament, the ICT Committee of the Senate, and the CDF Committee of the National Assembly as well. And what we have agreed on is that we are going to work in partnership to meet these objectives. Each and every ward must have a digital hub. And the way we want to go about it is that our National Assembly, courtesy of the members of Parliament, will help us identify the sites. They will also make, and this is work in progress, relevant amendments to the CDF Act to facilitate our members of Parliament to meet the cost of recurrent expenditure related thereto, specifically electricity, for example, which has been a challenge. On our side, we will deploy the devices. We will also undertake the training for free as government. We will also go a step further and identify the jobs for our youth, or link our youth to the job market. This initiative, ladies and gentlemen, has got the potential of creating about 1 million jobs for our youth. Each digital hub can create instantly 300 jobs. If we have got one digital hub in each ward, on average, each constituency has got 5 wards. So that means in each constituency, we have got the potential of creating 1,500 jobs. So as opposed to a situation where the youth are migrating to Nairobi or other towns for that matter in search of jobs, we will create the jobs right there in the village. And this is one of the means through which as government we are going to stem or alleviate rural-urban migration. If anything, we will be having urban-rural migration as far as the youth are concerned in search of jobs. In this regard, ladies and gentlemen, our target was to create or to establish 290 hubs annually. As we speak, I'm happy to report that we have already met the threshold of 174 digital laboratories, ladies and gentlemen. The county governments have also accepted to bring to the table the hitherto polytechnics, which are actually currently underutilized. We want to set up an additional digital laboratories within the polytechnics. The county governments accepted to make them ready for this purpose. And again, in the same vein, we will establish the laboratories, we will deploy the devices, and undertake the training within those laboratories, ladies and gentlemen. The next thing is the digitalization of government services. At the very beginning of our term, if you can remember, the government did state at the highest echelons by none other than His Excellency the President himself, that by June this year, end of June this year, we shall have digitalized a minimum of 5,000 services. The rationale for this, ladies and gentlemen, is to ensure that most government services are available on technological platforms. This will facilitate efficiency and effectiveness in service delivery. We have so far surpassed that target, as at 31st, we managed to have fully digitalized a total of 5,084 services, and we had an official launch for this purpose. But we have gone a step further and also identified a total of 9,362 services, government services, that can possibly be digitalized. Our proposition, ladies and gentlemen, is that by the end of the year, all the government services shall have been digitalized. As we speak, over and above the 5,084, which we are digitalized as end of June, we have partially digitalized another 2,550. As we speak, there's fundamental work in progress in finalization of the digitalization of those additional 2,500. So for purposes of clarity, let me give you the comfort that the target of fully digitalizing government services by the end of the year is realistic and achievable. If anything, we will attain it. When we took over government, and by extension the eCitizen platform, we only had a meager 350 services aboard the eCitizen platform, ladies and gentlemen. So this is a major milestone for government. And in terms of prioritization, I'm also happy to report that we have targeted in the initial stages those sectors of the Kenyan economy that are very, very critical for service delivery from government. So we have targeted the Ministry of Health in line with our universal health coverage agenda. We have targeted the Ministry of Lands, more so the lands registry, so that we unlock the potential of what has been clogged in there, the Kenya Revenue Authority. Now, leveraging on this technology, we'll be able to bring in more people into the tax bracket. And we are perhaps able to collect the same level of revenue, tax revenue, at the current fiscal rates of fiscal without tweaking the fiscal policies. Then transport, e-transport is another area of focus. Education, we want to go the route of e-learning. We no longer need the four walls of a classroom in the era of today to pursue education. That's another area of focus. Then border control, then citizen services, issues to do with passport. And then, of course, the cabinet. We have already also achieved fundamental results in that regard. Allow me now to go to the area of digital skills and correspondingly digital jobs, because the two are like Siamese twins. Again, as a ministry, ladies and gentlemen, we have embarked on two major programs: the Ajira program, which has been ongoing, and the Jitume program, which we have newly introduced. We have managed, through stakeholder alliances and partnerships, ladies and gentlemen, to secure a donation of 23,000 digital devices for deployment for purposes of digital skilling. And our intention in this regard, ladies and gentlemen, is to utilize these devices to have a critical mass of Kenyans acquire optimal levels of ICT skills and also empower our youth for jobs. We have gone ahead, ladies and gentlemen, to deploy these devices in 77 TVETs, a total of 6,700 devices in 77 TVETs, 4 universities which have received 400 units each, 21 schools which have received 100 virtual desktops each, and we have been doing this up to and including yesterday but one. We have gone ahead and deployed 100 virtual desktops in 8 ministries, departments, integral ministries, departments, and agencies. We have also supported the county governments, and again, so far in this regard, as far as official commissioning is concerned, launch is concerned, we have gone ahead and launched 34 sites. A total of 8,159 devices have been deployed in a total of 112 institutions so far. So that is as far as the digital skilling program is concerned. And we have managed through this process, ladies and gentlemen, to create, as we speak, a total of 109 digital jobs. Concurrently, we have managed to train a total of 336,000 youth on digital jobs, courtesy of the Ajira program and the Jitume program. In the same vein, we are at advanced stage of operationalization of KAIST, the Kenya Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, which is going to be a special purpose vehicle for purposes of digital skilling, ladies and gentlemen. We have also managed to operationalize the Kenya National Open University, which is going to be a virtual university, the first of its kind in this country, And I'm happy again to report that tomorrow but one, the Kenya National Open University will be officially commissioned by none other than His Excellency, the President himself. And this university, ladies and gentlemen, will be domiciled at our Konza Technopolis. The other issue or area of focus is digital entrepreneurship. You know, if we are digitalizing all government services and telling the public that you don't need to visit government offices to consume government services, then the question that comes to mind is whether or not we have got a critical mass of Kenyans with smart-enabled devices. And the answer as we speak is that there is a gap in the market. We have got inadequate levels. So as opposed to waiting to be reactive in a proactive manner, because we have been thinking in many facets simultaneously, we have gone a step further to partner with the private sector, ladies and gentlemen, to embark on the assembly of smart-enabled phones in the Kenyan market. This is work in progress at a very advanced stage. Based on feasibility studies, we are going to be able to roll out cheap, smart-enabled phones in the Kenyan market at a unit cost of about $40.